With just a few days before FanFest, Hasbro Pulse has teased us with several pictures and images of their upcoming new releases for the Kingdom line, starting off with official pictures of leader Galvatron. He's looking much better in these photos. I really like the details, the clear images showing us a lot more details of this figure. And I love the fact that those guns can form sort of like a small replica of the ship that Unicron gave them. I think that's a nice touch, nice homage. He still kind of looks squat in these images. Some people were saying because the shoulders are too low. I think it's the ratio or proportion of the torso to the legs. It's bothering me a little bit. He's really like a Gimli. I can't shake that image off of this figure, but we'll have to wait and see till we actually get this figure up close and personal. That cannon mode, wow, with those guns attached, looks so awesome. I think, you know, the only probably gripe I have with this cannon is that back end. It's still back heavy, but it's looking great. Yep, this Galvatron, much better looking. On top of that, we have our first official images of the transforming Titan class arc. Is this Titan class or Commander class? Could be a Titan class. Should be a Titan class because it's supposed to house the figures. But the figure looks, it feels like it's off the pages or off of the show Cyberverse. A little too cartoony for me. I'm not sure. I don't want to judge too quickly again, but the details look amazing. I think this figure is definitely well made. If this is a Titan class, wow, this is a huge figure. Looking at the head sculpt, you can clearly see that it's inspired by some of the past animated shows that Hasbro's released over the years. You get a little bit of hint of animated, bits of Prime, and robots in disguise. It still feels cartoony, but I love the details. I love the paneling on the torso, on the body of the ship. And look at that diorama that Hasbro Pulse teasing us, the way the Ark crashed onto Earth. Wow, that looks great. I can already see third-party companies making this kind of mountainside diorama, or cliff diorama that would be perfect for the alt mode of the Ark. The Ark in the ship mode looks fantastic. I think the sculpt is so G1 with a little bit more stylized areas here and there, but this is the Ark we've come to know since the 80s cartoon. I really like how it's looking. It kind of feels like more of a display piece rather than as like a play set, given the fact that I'm not particularly sure how many figures you can actually fit in here. So that robot mode, proportions are great. I love the details. I like that the thrusters are here on his legs. Look at those hands, articulated hands. I'm still not 100% sure I want to add this to my collection simply because it feels so cartoony. And I think it's not really something that, you know, was part of the Generation 1 mythology, a transforming Ark. We saw that in a couple of other cartoon shows after Generation 1. I think it's a cool concept. It's just not something I feel you should really have in your collection, except for the fact that it is a nice looking alt mode or spaceship mode. Yeah, definitely. Really loving this spaceship mode. I wish it would have more features than just a docking bay or maybe some guns. I don't know. It feels like it's a solid ship that I don't even know if you can actually have a cockpit or a bridge anywhere. The set will also include Teletraan 1. I think this was cool. It's a nice fan service to a lot of collectors. My only concern really is the scale of this Teletraan 1. I think it's just a little bit too small, but you know, we'll see. I think it's It might fit the Legends or the Core class figures. Teletraan 1 also transforms into a smaller robot. I thought this was a nice surprise. They didn't have to do this. It's not part of the mythology, but it is a Transformers toy, so you have to expect Hasbro to inject a lot of transforming parts, transforming pieces, and these gimmicks. You know, it's not bad. Who knew that Teletraan 1 could transform? It's an interesting take on a G1 concept, on a part of the G1 mythology. The Teletraan 1 and the Arc were integral to the Autobots in Generation 1, and I thought it was interesting that Hasbro has made this kind of concept. Just not sure if this is going to happen on the show Kingdom. I doubt it. But it's pretty cool. I think that they're trying to inject this into the mythology of Transformers. Really good details. Yeah, I'm liking this one. Unfortunately, I think this is the scale that will fit Teletraan 1. I was kind of hoping that the ship could actually fit at least the Core class figures, but it doesn't feel that way. Maybe you could still jam some Core class figures in it. I don't know, but based on this image, I think it's that tiny looking figure, the one that we got. It's similar to the one we got with the Centurion drone that had that weaponizer pack, the weapons pack. And it's a shame. Hasbro could have made this figure to fit and scale with the Core class. That was I thought the whole point of the Core class figures, but it doesn't seem that way. So that could be another deal breaker for me. Not necessarily something to encourage collectors to pick up. And like I said, this could just be a really nice display piece instead of like a play set. And finally, we have our first images of the Kingdom Scorponok, inspired by the Beast Wars. Scorponok is one of the members of the original Predacon team that went to Earth, that followed the Maximals, and he looks great. I've never had a Scorponok Beast Wars figure. When it was first released, I never got him, but he looks great with these new images. I mean, look at that detail. They nailed it. It's so close to how he looked like on the show. The colors are a little bit different. He's a lot more purple than gray. But that's okay. I think it's a better choice, if you ask me, than the drab colors of Beast Wars. That Scorpion mode. Oh, wow, it just looks amazing. And you can clearly see here, he's got some weapons, a weapons array here, right here. The whole sculpt of that Scorpion mode is just amazing. Definitely one to get. He has some kibble, those Scorpion legs. Yeah, but that was part of the figure. And looking at him now, I can see the gray bits being more dominant than the purple. At the same time, the purple is just really a nice touch to this figure. And I think it just evokes so much of that Beast Wars character. I'm really loving this figure. Definitely one to pick up. So there you go, folks. That's my take on the latest official promo images from Hasbro Pulse of the upcoming Kingdom figures for 2021. I'm really liking how the War for Cybertron Trilogy is taking shape right now. Scorponok is definitely one to pick up. That Galvatron, I'm still being optimistic about that figure. And the Arc is, I'm still on the fence on that one, but it seems like I'm gonna pick that one up. I don't know, it will probably depend on the price, on how much it's gonna go for out here in Asia. But it's an interesting concept, I think. If not for the fact that you're going to get an actual Arc in your collection, I think that's probably the main thing that will motivate a lot of collectors to get it. But otherwise, I think it's a great concept, not necessarily something that you have to get for your collection. Let me know in the comment section what you think of these latest teased images and promo pics from Hasbro Pulse. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. If it's your first time here, please subscribe. If you want to help the channel out, please check out my Patreon account. There's a link in the description box below. Thanks for watching.